So we've been talking throughout the day as well of the story. But by the way, when I first saw this story, I assumed it was sort of somewhere, I don't know what, somewhere in the United States. And then I started to look and I thought, well, they look like British. No, that's a British police car. This is the officer who used his police car to ram an escaped cow, has been removed from frontline duties while witnesses told of their disgust at the incident. For those who are watching this in pictures, you'll be able to see the images now. It is distressing to watch. The video shows officers using a 4x4 to try to control the cow, which is a 10-month-old cow called Bo Lucy, after it escaped from a farm. The police car was drove into it several times before the animal was eventually coaxed to safety into a horse box by 3 men. The ramming happened on Friday evening after Surrey Police received reports that a cow was running loose in Staines-upon-Thames. The cow has survived this and is recovering in a barn. We're told no broken bones, but there might be other damage. Let's speak with the animal rights activist in this capacity, Peter Egan. Peter, always good to speak with you. I mean, I think I speak for everybody, regardless of whatever response the police might give. This is incredibly distressing to see, not something we're used to.
Indeed, Ian. Good to speak to you too. Yes, I was absolutely shocked when I saw this. I thought it was unbelievable. It's as you said, I spoke to a very good friend of mine this morning, Dr. Roger Mugford, who actually saw the cow yesterday, and he has verified the fact that the cow is on its feet and no broken bones. It's a calf, in fact, 10 months, and it has a wound to its leg. And I think that the farmer who is responsible for the cow is in a deep state of shock, as well as we all are. I think it shows an incredible lack of judgment by the police officer or officers who were driving this 4x4. There has to be, there it is, it's just shocking to look at. There has to have been a better way of dealing with this. And I think it does show to us that, I know being a policeman in today's climate is a really, really tough job, but it shows a huge lack of compassion and care. And I think that the officers involved should either be given a choice to resign or to take a course in animal care, compassion and welfare, and to write a report about it and to lecture their comrades. I think the police need to be well informed about these things. I think they are, and it's a job that I don't envy. I think they're asked to get involved with so many things for which they may be possibly out of their depth, and they need some instruction in all of these areas.
I would assume, Peter, that and we don't yet know, we know that the officer driving the vehicle has been removed from frontline duties, I think. But I would assume the officer's argument would be, look, you know, there's a cow on the loose. It might have been a smaller cow, but it's still a cow. Could cause incredible damage. We need to somehow stop it. The car was going, 20 miles an hour, not 80 miles an hour. This was a judgment call at the time. It looks brutal, but we did it with care and consideration. I know that sounds sort of slightly contradictory, but I would imagine that would be the police's answer.
I would think you're quite right. I think that would be the police's answer. I know for a fact that if I were driving that 4x4, I may have got up close to the calf, but I wouldn't have rammed it. I would have tried to corral it in some way. And I certainly would have enlisted the help of other officers to get in front of the calf. I know these things are easier for us to say than to do. It was just a really bad judgment call, in my opinion, and it could have been done, as you say, for all the best reasons, and those are all the reasons we're going to hear. Nevertheless, I think it is a very, very ill-considered judgment call.
Yeah, and the poor thing must have been absolutely terrified before all of this, out of its comfort zone, out of its familiarity, and that must have been awful. I wondered, every now and again, if you follow sort of YouTube videos, you're taken down a bit of a rabbit hole where there's a tiger escapes a circus in India, or an elephant goes roaming around the streets of Wyoming because of it ran out of a zoo. And I wonder whether, because it's an animal, not a person, whether the mind of the officer sort of went there thinking, oh my goodness, we're going to have carnage like one of those kind of, horrendous disaster movies. When in fact, although it's big and it would hurt if it ran into you, it's still a calf. It's still a little cow.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that there is that kind of speciesism judgment call that it's an animal and it's not a human, therefore I have to behave in a certain way, and it doesn't matter if I behave without compassion in this instance. I think it always give the animal the benefit of the doubt. I found myself, because I live not too far from Staines, I live in Surrey, and I live around a farming community. I've been in a lane when a herd of cows have come past me, and you stand still, they walk around you. They don't wish to cause damage. This calf, as you say, was already in a high state of anxiety, being chased, made it worse, and it just sort of went haywire.
Yeah.
Just a really, really bad judgment call.
Indeed, this wasn't the bovine equivalent of Jaws, so I wonder whether some people have sort of run away with that idea. But we're happy that the cow, and it's interesting you've spoken to Roger and. The cow, although I'm sure slightly shocked. And you said the cow's owner as well, Peter, was also equally shocked.
I think horrified by what happened. He was obviously horrified that the calf had got loose, but the treatment of the calf, I think, has shocked the life out of it.
I think so. Peter, thank you as ever. Peter Egan, animal rights activist and actor with us here on Talk.